Let's talk for a little bit about Sound Chaser. This was a tough one as far as deciding which Yes tune that I wanted to play, because I'm such a big Yes fan and there's so much Yes music that I wanted to cover. But I felt like what I should do is cover the song that had Patrick Moraz in it, that had the most kind of direct keyboard influence to me. Even though I'm a huge Rick Wakeman fan and love everything that he did, there was something about when Patrick Moraz came into the group and started to use like the pitch wheel and do his style. And Patrick's playing actually inspired me very much to learn the whole like pitch wheel lead thing, because I thought that that was so cool, being able to, you know, bend pitch on a keyboard. So I would, you know, just listen to his playing, especially on the old like Refugee albums, and listen to his bends and think, man, I gotta learn to do that, because when I first heard it, I had no synthesizer, so to me it was completely new. And then when I did hear Sound Chaser finally, I had already had, you know, like my Mini Moog at that point. I just thought that that was the coolest lead. I thought it was amazing. And that combined with the, you know, majestic three-part vocals in that song made me feel like, okay, this is the Yes song I want to do. It's a little bit tricky, it's not the ordinary Yes, it's very fusion-oriented, it goes in some strange direction, it has some strange time signatures, but I wanted to cover this song because it really has a bit of everything that I like about Yes. So let's start off our journey into this and listen to the beginning section a little bit, where this was a challenge when I thought about doing this piece, because quite honestly I have no idea what's going on rhythmically. I don't know what they're thinking, but I realized after having my amazing transcriber Jordan Baker kind of write this piece out for me and all the very bizarre rhythms that he wrote, that maybe I shouldn't necessarily think about the details so much, and I should let Rod Morgenstein do his thing and kind of do, you know, that whole flavor with pianos going a million miles an hour on the electric piano thing. And here, check this out. So what I did here is that I kind of set up a meter map where I let the whole thing be in 2/4. So even though it was clicking away, I told Rod he could do whatever he wants, and as you can hear, he's doing some amazing stuff. And finally, when the main riff wraps around, well, then we're in some definite time signatures and things have to come back to something more planned. So I'm doing the whole fast piano, electric piano thing. Rod's just, you know, playing his ass off, and then it comes together to start the main riff. You know, the next thing that happens basically is that incredible vocal section. And my guests on this song are Nick DiVirgilio, who's now the lead singer of Spock's Beard, and Kip Winger. And Kip and Nick worked together on this to create an unbelievably cool sounding vocal, you know, in this three-part harmony. And they did it in separate places too. Kip did it in his studio and Nick did it in his studio. So they sang that whole first part. And then Nick actually also sang the very melodic section that comes later on in the song after my Continuum Concerto, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So listen to this Kip and Nick three-part harmony vocal. Yeah, so this really turned out, I think, really, really well, and very kind of proud of the way that all worked out. The next thing that happens of note is I can talk about my other guests, in this case Ed Wynn, fabulous guitar player from Ozric Tentacles. You know, I'm a big Ozric Tentacles fan, especially a big Ed Wynn fan. I think he's very, very creative and melodic and just does some great stuff. And I didn't know him personally when I went to do this album, but the guys at my record company have worked with him, and so they connected me with Ed. And we got on very well on the phone and just arranged to get this whole thing started. So Ed took on the challenge of playing this really cool kind of middle solo in Sound Chaser where the whole band stops and it's just guitar. And Ed just, kind of goes wild and creates his guitar atmosphere. And I told him, look, Ed, do whatever you want at first. You can just, make this part your own. And then after a little while, I come in with some chords, and Ed actually continues playing over the chords, which is the same format as the original Sound Chaser, except the chords that I came in with had nothing to do with the original piece. I just chose my own chords and let Ed play melodically over the top, as you can hear. And the guy just has, this beautiful melodic sense, because listen how he's changing his scalar patterns so perfectly over each chord that I play. So that really turned out well. And after Ed finishes off his solo, then it goes into what I call the continuum concerto. This was fun because I was going kind of wild on the continuum doing my thing, but then in the background adding some more orchestral type effects, like I'd have timpani and strings, and it would get very kind of serious sounding. You can hear as you listen to it now that I'm doing some things like where I'll play one note and kind of modulate the notes, so you get almost like this very quick wah-wah-ish sound, but very specific to the continuum. So that I had a lot of fun with that. And then after the continuum bit, and the concerto settles down, then you can hear Nick's very beautiful kind of melodic vocal section.
From the moment I reached out to hold, I felt a sound, and what touches our soul slowly moves.
So the other thing, as I mentioned, one of the reasons I selected this song is the whole lead section, where Patrick Moraz originally just went nuts with the pitch wheel and did some amazing things. So I had to follow that, and of course that's a challenge because that lead meant so much to me. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do something, as cool, or maybe even, hopefully cooler than that? So, I spent some time and I did my my lead on that section. I had a great time, and I quoted a little bit of Patrick's, inflections and some of his little motifs as well in there. So part of it is my tribute to Patrick, and part of it is I went off a little bit and did some things on my own. You can give a listen to that. And next up is the answer to my lead, in which you can hear my fabulous guest, Mr. Ricky Garcia from Germany, playing a wild guitar solo over Sound Chaser. Some job I gave him, right? Having to follow like my favorite lead of the whole album in Sound Chaser. But Ricky, as you can hear, did an incredible job and really, really burned on this solo.